Samantha Markle, who joins me live from the US. Samantha, I have to say, this was one of the most nauseating...
So picture this. Every royal biographer, every glossy palace-approved narrative, every single press report has been telling us the same story for years. Meghan Markle is 44. That's the official number, the one that's been drilled into headlines and royal archives. But wait, because Samantha Markle, her own half-sister, just dropped a bombshell that could blow the entire palace-approved timeline to pieces. Samantha isn't whispering this behind closed doors anymore. No, this time she's putting it in writing, in cold, hard court documents. And if she's right, Meghan isn't mid-40s at all. She's pushing 50. Can you imagine the scandal? And it all starts unraveling with a single photograph that no royal ever wanted you to see.
Opinion. It's rather lofty to suggest the ability to align with, issues of...
Now, I know what you're thinking. How could one old snapshot topple an entire royal biography? It sounds ridiculous, like some tabloid fantasy, right? But insiders say Samantha's 2025 lawsuit is doing exactly that. Digging deep into Northwestern University's dusty archives, someone found this grainy salsa club photo from the early 2000s. And there, smiling in the back row, is Meghan. At first glance, innocent enough. But look closer. The classmates around her, they're all in their early 50s today. Not 40s, not millennials. These are people who graduated high school in the late 1980s. That's a full decade before Meghan's official 1999 diploma from Immaculate Heart High. One photo, one alumni list, and suddenly the polished palace timeline doesn't just wobble, it bends.
Fathers. So we have to include the men when we are self-glorifying. There's got to be some acknowledgement there.
And here's where it gets personal. For Samantha, this isn't idle gossip. This is her reality. Her memory stacked against Meghan's carefully polished image. She swears she watched Meghan grow up in California, saw those gaps in age with her own eyes, and has spent years watching her half-sister twist the past into a marketable fairy tale. And now she's done being silent. Court filings reported by the Daily Beast reveal Samantha is reviving her defamation suit, claiming Meghan's false timelines didn't just smear her, but deceived the entire world. This isn't just about whether Meghan shaved a few years off her age. No, it's about trust, image, and the very foundation of the brand called Meghan Markle. And guess what? Fans online didn't believe it at first until receipts started surfacing. TikTok and Reddit users began digging up alumni documents and LinkedIn pages from Meghan's supposed classmates. Birth years, 1971, 1972, 1973. People who were tossing their graduation caps in 1988 while Meghan's official records claim she didn't finish high school until 1999. Do the math. It's like a glitch in the Matrix. And the internet? Oh, they had a field day. One viral tweet joked, either Meghan is a time traveler or someone shaved years off her birth certificate. It was meant as sarcasm, but the retweets, the likes, the sheer traction proved something darker. People weren't entirely laughing, because if the palace-approved story can crumble over one document, what else has been fabricated?
Key clips from the podcast, and I'll get you to review as we go. So during the chat with Serena, she appeared to suggest that ambition...
Now, let's talk risk. Buckingham Palace staff, according to page 6, see Samantha's lawsuit as low credibility but high danger. Why? Because photographs and alumni records aren't whispers, they're receipts. And receipts are stubborn things. If Samantha's math checks out, then Meghan's not just 4 years older, she's the face of a pattern, a carefully constructed brand built to sell youth, relatability, and Hollywood shine. And suddenly, with one lawsuit, one photo, and one very angry half-sister, that brand starts looking less like authenticity and more like manipulation. And the online world, it pounced. Twitter threads exploded within hours of the filing. TikTok creators posted side-by-side collages of Meghan next to her alleged classmates, circling faces and writing out ages in bold red fonts. One viral TikTok, viewed nearly 3 million times, zoomed in on the salsa club photo, highlighting every alumnus's birth year before landing squarely on Meghan with the caption, "Does this math add up?" It wasn't just faceless accounts either. YouTubers in the royal gossip niche went wild. One channel, Royal Truths, declared, "This isn't a smear campaign. It's a math problem." Samantha's filings, Northwestern alumni lists, and TikTok detective work were suddenly colliding into one narrative. Meghan Markle might not be the age she claims to be.
Meghan Markle's exhaustingly sycophantic and woke new podcast where she ramps up the victimhood with her apparent BFF, Serena Williams, despite them both being multi.
And here's where it turns downright scandalous. Critics started roasting Meghan's so-called 1981 birth year, calling it the classic Hollywood age. You know the trick, where stars shave off a few years to snag younger roles and keep their careers looking fresh. But when it's a duchess at the center of this trickery, oh, that's not just vanity, it's deception with global consequences. The more people connected the dots online, the harder it became to dismiss Samantha's claims as jealous ramblings. Even insiders whispered that something bigger was lurking under the surface. Radar Online threw gasoline on the fire by bringing up a chilling example. Archie's birth certificate, remember that? Meghan's first names, Rachel Meghan, were mysteriously erased weeks after it was filed. Left behind, just the title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. At the time, the palace insisted it was a boring formatting thing. But Samantha's lawyers see it differently. To them, it screams of a pattern. Meghan's records aren't just sloppy, they're changeable. And the whispers grew darker. A senior royal aide, speaking anonymously, put it bluntly, if a royal birth certificate can be altered, then a California birth certificate could be altered too. Boom. That's the kind of comment that keeps fans awake at night. Because Meghan has always branded herself as authentic, as a truth teller, the Duchess who bears her soul on Oprah and Netflix. But if her official documents can be rewritten, then what even is authenticity? One Instagram fan said it best, it's not about whether she's 44 or 50, it's about why she hides it so much. That single comment racked up over 12,000 likes, proof that curiosity, not certainty, is driving this storm. The press, of course, went into overdrive. Tabloids splashed the lawsuit across front pages, while even more serious outlets like The Telegraph couldn't resist pointing out how perfectly the timing lined up with Harry and Meghan's crumbling Hollywood deals. Suddenly, people weren't just asking if Meghan fibbed about her age, they were asking if her entire brand, her relatability, her truth, was a house of cards. And here's the kicker. Meghan has always portrayed herself as the victim of distortion, the woman chewed up by the ruthless media machine. But with Samantha's filings, that narrative flipped upside down. If Meghan's own biography is riddled with distortions, then she's not the victim. She's the architect of her own downfall. And here's the nightmare scenario for Team Sussex. You can brush off gossip, you can even settle lawsuits, but you can't erase photographs, you can't delete old alumni lists. They linger, they resurface, they refuse to die, which means Meghan isn't just battling her half-sister in court, she's fighting against a paper trail, and in the digital age, paper trails never disappear. Now let's rewind Meghan's timeline. Officially, she graduates from Immaculate Heart High School in 1999. That neatly lines up with her supposed August 4th, 1981 birth date. Case closed, right? Wrong. Because when internet detectives started combing through alumni newsletters, old program scans, and LinkedIn pages, a different picture started to form. Some alleged classmates insisted they graduated alongside her years earlier. One Northwestern peer even told the Daily Mail, "We walked across the stage together in the early 90s. I was born in 1976. Do the math." Do the math indeed. Because this isn't just about dates, it's about credibility. And once the numbers don't add up, nothing else does either. Hollywood, of course, has always had whispers about Meghan's age. Casting sheets from her early acting days listed age ranges that just didn't match the palace's polished biography. Was she playing older characters as a young actress or younger characters as an older actress? That's the million-dollar question. Because in Hollywood, shaving even 2 or 3 years off can be the difference between landing a role and losing it. And Samantha's lawsuit doesn't just accuse Meghan of fibbing. It suggests Meghan deliberately compressed her life story, all to look fresher, more marketable, more sellable to Hollywood and to the royals. The filings are brutal. They allege Meghan spun a false timeline to mislead the public and to smear family members like Samantha when they contradicted her. It's a harsh accusation. But in an industry where age is basically a currency, it lands with devastating force. Because a 44-year-old reinventing herself as a duchess, that's aspirational. A 50-year-old doing the same, that suddenly feels contrived. And Hollywood isn't staying quiet either. Variety reported that some studios have quietly re-examined Meghan's projects. Executives are whispering, if she can blur the facts of her own biography, what does that mean for the stories she's trying to sell Netflix or Spotify? One producer even joked at a dinner party, if she fudged her own timeline, what about the scripts? That cynical quip may be brutal, but it cuts to the heart of the problem. In entertainment, image is everything. And once that image looks too curated, investors start sweating. The backlash is snowballing. Twitter memes are comparing Meghan's timeline to a badly edited Netflix series. Season 1, Meghan the actress. Season 2, Meghan the Duchess. Season 3, deleted scenes. Parody is deadly. It cements the scandal into pop culture. Once you become a punchline, credibility rarely comes back. And Samantha, she's not letting go. In a fiery American talk show interview, she said, "This isn't defamation, this is documentation." And those words ricocheted across social media. YouTube edits, TikTok splices, fans juxtaposed her soundbite with alumni directories and Meghan's glossy yearbook photos. Even skeptics admitted it was devastatingly effective. For years, Meghan positioned herself as the ultimate victim of smear campaigns. But Samantha has flipped the script. Now Meghan is painted not as the victim, but as the manipulator. And here's Meghan's nightmare: cultural memory. Once the idea sticks that your age is fake, it doesn't matter what the truth is. Hollywood thrives on myths. Marilyn Monroe's dress size, Beyoncé's birth year, Tom Cruise's height. But once the myth calcifies, it's permanent. And if Meghan's brand becomes synonymous with timeline distortion, that's forever. One Palace aide sighed to the Times, "You can win the lawsuit and still lose the story." That's the harsh reality Meghan faces now. Because this isn't just Samantha versus Meghan. It's Samantha plus Palace insiders, plus Hollywood executives, plus an army of internet sleuths who refuse to let this go. And let's be real, one missing year might be a mistake. 4 missing years? That looks like intent. And intent is what turns a misunderstanding into a full-blown scandal. The fallout is already spreading. Hollywood studios are skittish, hesitant to attach her name to anything long-term until the smoke clears. Streaming giants like Netflix, already stung by underperforming Sussex projects, don't want to risk another round of public mockery if Meghan's own life story becomes a meme. One columnist at Deadline nailed it. "If your own biography can't withstand scrutiny, how can you sell scripted dramas to the world?" And the Palace? This could be reputational poison. The monarchy thrives on consistency and history. Meghan's age scandal sounds trivial, but if Palace records can be bent to convenience, what else can? One royal watcher told Sky News, "It's not about Meghan's birth year. It's about whether history itself is rewritable." Fans, meanwhile, are split. Supporters cling to the official 1981 date, but skeptics multiply by the day, fueled by hashtags like Markle timeline and missing years racking up millions of views. And let's be honest, once the internet adopts a mystery, it never lets go. And here's the kicker: Samantha doesn't even have to win in court. Defamation cases are notoriously hard. All she needs to do is keep the spotlight on Meghan's inconsistencies. Every filing, every soundbite, every interview guarantees the conversation keeps going. Meghan's silence isn't protection anymore. It's a blank canvas that others are filling in for her. And that's the brutal irony. Meghan built her empire on exposing distortions in the royal family. But if Samantha's claims stick, Meghan becomes the distortion, the very thing she claimed to fight against. So, where does this end? Maybe the case gets tossed. Maybe Meghan produces airtight records. Or maybe the rumors harden into cultural lore. Either way, Samantha has already won one thing. She's forced the world to look twice at Meghan Markle's story, and once the world looks twice, it rarely looks away. If one photograph can shake a royal biography, imagine what happens when the next archive surfaces. This isn't just about Meghan and Samantha anymore. It's about branding, Hollywood, monarchy, and the fragility of truth in the digital age. This saga, far from finished. Stay tuned, because the next missing piece of Meghan's timeline could be the one that rewrites everything.